As the United States nears its 250th anniversary, the dominant story out of Washington is one of deep, persistent fracture. We see populist anxiety, gridlocked institutions, and a political culture that seems endlessly at war with itself. But that political noise masks a massive, quiet reality playing out at the exact same time. The American tech economy is expanding at a blistering pace, driven by rapid advancements in artificial intelligence that are actively rewriting how global business operates. America's superpower is its capacity to rebuild its economic engine. The cycle, economic innovation creates immense wealth, triggering intense social disruption and forcing radical political reaction. The friction today is the first stage kicking into gear, a fourth economic era driven by intelligent machines, techno-capitalism. The intense political division visible today represents the messy, predictable friction of a country upgrading its economic operating system. To understand how this works, we have to look back to the beginning. In 1776, as 13 colonies declared their political independence, Adam Smith laid out the intellectual foundations for modern capitalism. Over the next century and a half, those two forces grew up together, culminating in a massive second reinvention spearheaded by industrialists like Henry Ford. By introducing scientific management and the moving assembly line, the entire concept of human labor was reorganized. Workers no longer dictated the pace of their craft. Instead, they had to adapt their physical movements to the relentless rhythm of the machines. This system of mass production generated incredible national prosperity, but it also clustered wealth into the hands of a few giant industrial trusts, leaving the working class highly vulnerable. That intense social disruption inevitably snapped back into the political arena. The economic shocks of the era drove citizens to demand government intervention, ultimately forcing the creation of antitrust laws and the broad social safety nets of the New Deal. These early eras established a cycle where radical changes in economic production eventually drive a radical renegotiation of the social and political contract. We saw this exact cycle repeat with the third great reinvention late in the 20th century. Advancements in container shipping and telecommunications allowed companies to physically break apart their supply chains and spread them across the globe. American capitalism adapted by specializing. Companies kept tight control over the high-value technology, finance, and intellectual property, while physical manufacturing was shifted to lower-cost labor markets, largely in Asia. Looking at this graph, you can see the direct result of that split. As U.S. corporate profits skyrocketed, domestic manufacturing jobs steadily collapsed. The system created immense wealth at the top and turned China into an industrial powerhouse, but it entirely hollowed out American labor. That specific economic hollowing out planted the seeds for the populist anger and deep political realignment we are living through right now. Now the engine is turning over again. We are entering the era of techno-capitalism, a completely new production system built on a foundation of advanced semiconductors, cloud computing, and complex algorithms. The ambition of this new era is distinct. In the past, technology was used to make workers more productivity or to seek out cheaper labor overseas. Today, with systems like humanoid robotics, the objective is to eliminate the dependence on human labor entirely. In this system, wealth is generated not by employing large workforces, but simply by owning the intelligent machines and the data that power them. By bypassing the working class altogether, techno-capitalism threatens to concentrate economic leverage into fewer hands than at any other point in history. This brings us directly back to the friction we see today. When sections of the populist movement revolt against AI, or when regulators launch antitrust lawsuits against tech platforms, we are watching the reaction phase of the cycle play out in real time. And the consequences will not stop at the border. Just as industrialization made the U.S. a superpower, the global rollout of AI infrastructure will aggressively redistribute both economic and military power around the world. This forces a set of very heavy questions onto the table. Who actually owns these machines? How will the enormous wealth they generate be distributed? And what exactly does capital owe to society when it no longer needs its labor? History cautions against writing off the American Republic during times of extreme division. The current chaos reflects a country in the middle of a predictable, difficult transition, one that has repeatedly redefined the world over the last 2 centuries.